shadows always haunt me late at night.
The three members of Honeyglaze emerge from the shadows to talk about their self-titled debut album to be released on the ultra-hip Speedy Wunderground label. So here are Anushka, Tim, and Yuri on the eve of album release day, not thinking, just doing.
Mornings always feel like paradise.
Well, thanks for talking to me so close to the big time. Very exciting. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like even though the record is your first record, is just coming out just now, a lot has happened with the band over the past few months since you guys formed. So you've played all sorts of festivals and released, all sorts of stuff. So how does that feel? Do you feel like a new band? Do you feel like you've kind of been doing this a while? What's it like?
I feel pretty medium personally.
Yeah.
Pretty medium. I don't feel quite like, I think when we started it was a lot more like bemused about why anyone was giving us anything. Yeah.
Right. Fair enough.
Oh, okay. I kind of get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because it's been a long time since we recorded it. It's kind of
right.
There's been I feel like an up and down and hype for it. Right now, it's definitely like climaxing because it's
Right.
just about to be released. But yeah.
How long ago was it that it was actually recorded?
Almost exactly a year ago. I think just over.
Yeah.
A year and a month ago, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a long wait, because especially with the Speedy Wunderground label, they're used to like cranking them right out and putting them out within days of recording it, right? So
Yeah. But it's also it's very vinyl based, Speedy Wunderground, so all the wait times and stuff in addition to just
Yeah, well, I just did another interview with somebody whose record is coming out, and they were blaming Adele for the delay because all the vinyl pressing plants are stuffed up with keeping up with her demand. So there you go.
All to blame to Adele. Thanks, Adele.
So with the record poised to be released, what's been the highlight of you guys' career so far leading up to it?
Oh. Green Man last year, playing Green Man Festival was definitely a highlight. And also just finished the tour with Wet Leg. That was definitely
Tell me about that, because that album's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was amazing. So it's just really nice and quite wholesome. Yeah.
I feel like we literally finished yesterday. So
right.
Today was our first day off from tour.
Yeah.
And did you get to hang with the band with Wet Leg?
Yeah. We saw them.
Yeah, decent amount. Yeah.
Became second in a pub quiz.
Hey, that's all right.
Achievement, yeah.
Out of how many teams?
Oh,
Two?
quite a few. 8 teams, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So take us back to a year ago to when you were about to record this thing. Tell me what it felt like to you guys, what the vibe was like in the studio, that kind of thing. Paint me a picture, if you will.
We'd been rehearsing in a little spare studio down the road from Down's house, Down's home studio, for like 3 months. We were going in almost every day, preparing for the record.
And this was during lockdown as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty intense.
I mean, there was nothing else really to do.
Yeah.
As well.
I know what you mean. It's been pretty bleak here too, so there you go.
Then we just went in to record it. It was 5 days we had with Dan and Lex, and it was pretty sweaty and hot and intense.
Yeah, it was really hot.
It was really hot.
It's weird. It was like the middle of the summer, but it was in March and April.
And so they like to work quickly, right? So did you find, you must have known that going in, so did you find that kind of daunting or challenging or interesting? How did you kind of look at it?
I think we kind of had a lot of time to process what it was going to be like. Like, we knew it was going to be very intense. So all the time we were rehearsing, we had that sort of practice in mind.
Right.
We knew we had to get our kind of live sound as tight as we possibly could. And
and also just I think we kind of wanted to have that sort of immediacy to the sound, the sort of like liveness, or even just like spontaneity in the decisions that we were making. We were also committing straight to tape when we were recording, so it was just kind of like, you know, this is the take, and if it felt right, and this is what's on the record, and that's just how it went for the first 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, we also spent a lot of time with that music, so like it's good to have some time pressure because you know all your ideas basically already going.
Yep.
And just kind
Just went in and laid it down, huh? No, so it sounds like the opposite of like the way they used to make them back. Like Steely Dan would spend 3 days laying down a guitar solo or something,
Well,
and then
I feel like Steely Dan was quite unusual in that, even in that era. Like they were one of the few bands that didn't play live; they were just studio gurus. And before then, there was a lot of bands recording like we did now.
yeah, that's true. Absolutely right. Yeah. So, and being signed to Speedy Wunderground, I mean, the label itself has its own persona almost. So, did you have to kind of figure if you fit into that first before you signed on, or vice versa? How did it? Any kind of thought like that?
We kind of dragged into it quite easily. They were the ones that approached us, and I mean, I literally had only heard the name kind of floating around before we got signed. I'd heard of Dan Carey, but I didn't really know anything about them.
Yeah, I mean, we love the artists that they had worked with before,
right?
So
that helps.
Yeah, definitely. It's just kind of like even today, the artists that they're working with now, we're big fans of theirs, and it's just kind of like a deal that it was just like a no-brainer to just be like, yes, definitely, Yeah.
I mean, we already had the songs, most of them, so it was kind of like, if Dan likes them, then we'll just work on them. But afterwards, I think we have sort of paid more attention to that kind of music. Yeah, more like dark experimental rock, I guess.
Yeah.
So the album starts with a song called "Start," which is kind of a setting a tone. It to me, when I was listening to it, was like an awakening happening, and you're kind of leading up to something. So tell me how that happened. Whose idea was that?
Wanted to make a sort of intro track. We practiced it like literally like once or twice in the studio.
It's just based around the chords of the last song,
right?
And things, and we just like the week before, I was just like, "Do you want to do that?"
Yeah, definitely.
We just kind of jammed it a couple times and recorded it last.
Yeah, recorded it last as well.
You recorded the last. All right.
Yeah, encapsulate like the whole recording process, and then we did the very first track right at the end of it. We like turned out all the lights and
lasers, and
that explains everything. Because it's very different than the rest of the record. So it's kind of interesting that you make that the first thing that people hear, if they're listening to it in record form.
The rest of the songs are on the first half are kind of quite peppy, so it's nice to start with a bit of mood.
Right. Now I have to talk about female lead because I watched the video and it's pretty entertaining. You got the little movie vignette going on at the front of that, and then I like the lyrics as well. So perhaps you can give me a little background on how that became what it is.
I watched my favorite movie and thought that maybe I could be just like the female lead. So I went out to buy some bleach. I put it in my black hair and waited for an hour. But when I washed it out, oh God, I've let my mother down.
I wrote it during the first lockdown. It was kind of just like a little silly song I wrote without thinking much about it, and I sent it to these guys. And Tim used my demo and kind of wrote the the guitar riff in the middle instrumental. And
Right.
sent it back to me, added some bass lines, and I think we all started getting like quite excited about it.
Have you ever dyed your hair blonde?
I haven't. People, this one, I have to disappoint them.
Fair
I've thought about it, but I've never given in to the temptation.
So do you do the primary songwriting? Do the three of you write together? How is the creative process work with the band?
It's I think it fluctuates. Definitely at the beginning when we sort of started out, Noosh had a lot of songs that were literally, you know, chords and melody and some lyrics. And me and Tim would sort of arrange ourselves around that. But nowadays we're very much more collaborative, and we're, you know, a song on the album called Half Past is also sort of like the beginning, I think, of that phase of writing where we're sort of writing all together, doing the sections together. I mean, lyrics and melodies obviously still Noosh and stuff, but I think compositionally, and Burglar, yeah.
Well, the Half Past has a great little bass line that kind of leads into the whole thing. So is that indicative of the fact that it's more collaborative by that point?
I get up 3:30, struggle with my self-esteem. I always sing in major key. Don't come back if you leave me.
I mean, I think we knew we wanted to do something a bit more, I don't know, just something we haven't done before.
Yeah.
So I think that was also just a reason for us to just work in a much more like, okay, I'm going to give you this, now what are you going to give me back kind of situation in the room.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it true that you guys met actually at your first rehearsal? Because that's what I've read, but you know how these things go.
I met Yuri at the first rehearsal. But
Okay.
Yeah, I knew them separately and brought them together. For the first rehearsal.
Okay, so what made you think that the three of you were the thing?
It was really coincidental. I just happened to ask these two because I knew I'd made some stuff with Tim before, like we'd done some silly things together, and then I knew Yuri played drums, and I didn't really know anyone else that could play drums at the time. So yeah, a lucky coincidence that it worked so well.
Fair enough. Now, we talked about the first song. The last song is called Childish Things, and it has this kind of very kind of grand feel about it as it moves along. Is there a reason tell me about the creation of it and why it's at the end of the record, if you don't mind.
Air-conditioned Sunday scents filled with paint and wet cement. Think of all the childish things I've said. No, I don't want to lay in bed, getting lost inside my head. Think of all the childish things I've said. Oh, but isn't it fine when you leave it behind?
I wrote it well before I met these guys. I knew I wanted to write this song that was really simple. It had all the same lyrics. It had all 2 chords, and it literally
That's simple.
I just wanted to have each verse ascending, and that was it. And then the last one ends on the start again, and that was kind of I don't know. It just like has a lot of space, and it worked really well. Like bringing it with these guys because we can just like we really started pushing it with like dynamically and like
I think in
the rhythm section,
in that sort of area, like in dynamics, I think working with Dan really helped, you know, encouraged us to using drives and distortion and like making the ceiling of the dynamics much higher. And also when we
just didn't have those
pedals. We used to play live with no pedals. It was just guitar amp, bass amp, and drums, and you know, vocals. That was it. But yeah, no, I think we always play Childish Things live at the end of our set.
Right. It gets pretty loud and pretty noisy, and so when you recorded that, was it all live as well?
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah, we did a couple.
Yeah.
All righty. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something.
No, I was just gonna say it was one of the harder ones to record live, just because it was like a 6-minute song.
Yep.
And also that we're so used to doing with vocals, and doing it without vocals was like strange.
So there are lots of takes in the can.
3 takes.
2, 3, yeah.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So you got it done in a half an hour, basically.
Yeah.
We finished the like, if you just condense the amount of takes we had, it was probably only like 3 of the whole album.
Right. So what have you got planned for the day tomorrow when the record's out? Are you gigging anywhere? Are you hanging out, having a party?
We've got a session with the BBC Radio 4. And then we are playing at Rough Trade East, which is like a really great record shop.
Oh, cool.
Doing that there, and signing albums and
Going to the pub.
And then
Going to the
celebrating.
That sounds about right. All right. Is there a track on the record that for you guys represent, if somebody wants to know what you guys are all about, what would you lead them to? Which one would you point them at? Burglar.
I was beaten down not so very long ago. It was in another town by a fear that you don't know. 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 By a fear.
And there's a kind of a call and response thing going on in the middle of it. Was that always planned to be in there? How did that come about?
No, it
why
wasn't.
that happened.
We were.
I think that just
don't know why
happens
we did that.
when we're in like recording sessions and Nusha's singing. Sometimes I just like add little bits in, and I think that was just the only one that's ever stuck. I was doing that.
It was really weird.
I think Wet Leg does the same thing. The girl who's playing the guitar behind kind of sticks her head in every once in a while and adds a thing, and it's pretty cool. So there you go.
Yeah, it's great. Dual vocals are fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So are you thinking about what you're going to do for the next record?
Yeah, kind of.
Not really thinking, just making songs and secret.
Yeah, just scoping out the field, seeing what we can, what we make.
Right. See what your options are.
Yeah, just
Whatever happens.
keep it open. Yeah.
Because I guess, if with you being on the label that you're on, there's a certain way of thinking that that's the way you should work all the time, but maybe you might not want to do that, I guess. I don't know.
I think we are pretty on it. We're working writing quite often whenever we can.
Yeah. It's just like, we don't have that much time, I guess, anymore. But
yeah, right now especially. But
It's not like lockdown.
not like lockdown.
No. So what does it feel like over there? Does it feel like things are normal, or is it kind of different?
pretty rare.
Pretty
much,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Not here. This still feels like people are afraid to go out. So
Oh, really?
it's getting to be a little better.
It's like 80%.
Yeah, I think in our kind of
Yeah,
in the music scene, it's kind of everyone's kind of just jumped back in.
they're just ignoring it.
Right. Well, yeah.
It's still getting ill, but they just kind of get through it.
Cool. Well, you should come down here and play if you get a chance. If you can get into the
Yeah.
it would be nice. I think speaking of, I keep bringing up Wet Leg, which I don't know why, but I believe they're coming here. So you can hop on
really?
there. Yeah, later in the year when hopefully everything is okay. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. But yeah, I think it's been, I can't remember when I saw an international act last anymore. It's all, fortunately, we have a good local scene, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, at Green Man last year, it was like really nice. You'd see a lot more Welsh and English and Scottish, and whatever people who wouldn't have gone there otherwise because there were too many international acts.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like Fontaine's headline.
Yeah, Fontaine.
Crazy.
From Ireland, and they would probably never get the chance to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they've got a new record just coming out too, I think. So
Yeah, they just
did, yeah.
I spoke to them. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So yeah, stuff's happening. It's good. So congratulations on the record. We can listen to it here all the way through, and it's fantastic. So yep, have fun tomorrow.
Thanks,
And thanks for staying up late for me.
No, good. Thank you.
All right, have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.